still can't get over that pretty picture, you know. Anyway, gotta focus. It's time for us to start looking at keys to protection. It's Tuesday morning once again, and we are going to welcome back Leland King of K9 Security and Hal Corbin of Security, or Secure One. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, we brought some technology this morning.
Yeah, we did.
You guys are showing off. So yeah, let's look at our ongoing efforts to get people more secure. And this month, we just found out this morning, is going to be Security Month. So I guess it becomes even more a big thing and even more in focus right now. So we've looked at a number of things over the last couple of programs, like how you can secure yourself, your entrances to buildings, entrances to home, and that sort of thing. What are we going to start off on this morning?
Well, this morning we're going to continue on the track. We did the homes, we did the offices, similarly we did the perimeters outside yourself a bit, and we're going to continue, and we're going to touch today is we're going to be on CCTV, cameras and stuff, installing them, the benefits of cameras. You've been seeing that. I just said this. Today's a really heavy security day. It's going to be a heavy security month in terms of the stuff that we have to offer you. But today Hal's going to look at the security in terms of CCTVs and what you can do with it and the benefits of having the security TV.
And of course, Hal has already told us in previous programs, just briefly, that you have to get different types of cameras for different situations. So maybe we can start off there, purchasing the equipment. Hal, what do we need? You have a house, you know, regular size house. Maybe you want to make sure that you can see around it. What would you need?
Okay, well, first of all, most properties in Barbados you will find are longer than they are wide, which means your house will not be a perfect square on the usual. So one side will most likely be longer than the other one. In a situation like that, and especially when you're talking about night vision on your cameras, if you want night vision, you want to be able to see the full length. So if you buy, why I say don't buy a kit, because if you buy a kit with all the same cameras, let's say your infrared LEDs give you up to 30 feet, that might be well and good for the front of the house and the back of the house, but the two sides are going to be longer. So it's best to have a security professional visit your property, assess the situation, because the two cameras that work at the front and the back, because they're shorter, will not give you the full vision along the two sides, which are longer. And then you have some people get fancy and they have what I will call part of the house comes out, part goes in, there are indentations, there's slopes. A lot of the land in Barbados is sloping. A lot of people are utilizing that and building, underneath it, exactly. So if you have a camera on what we call the short end of the property, looking down, you need to make sure it has the scope to cover the higher part or the lower part as you look further down. So these are things you need to take into consideration. So I would suggest to anybody thinking about it to have a security professional from one of the security companies visit their property and advise them rather than they go do it themselves.
No, I'm thinking, you mentioned night vision. Can you have is there a technology that has a camera that would function in both at night and in the daytime and give you good quality picture? Or would you need to buy two sets of cameras?
No, there are infrared cameras, which would give you the ability to view during the day. They're in color, and when the lighting is low, let's not just say night because outside it gets overcast. When the lighting gets low or it gets dark, what will happen is the picture will turn to black and white. That's infrared, and not what you see. Some people think heat signature where you can see through walls. That's thermal imaging. That's something different. But night vision is being able to see in darkness. What will happen is the picture will go black and white, and the infrared LEDs put off a light that you can't see with the naked eye. But if you're sitting in front of your monitor or you're logged onto your system, like for instance, I put you in a dark room, completely dark room, and I put one infrared camera in there. You can't even see your hand. The next person sitting on the other side of the monitor will be able to see you, just you being black and white, but they'll see you plain as day.
Okay. All right. We were just seeing some images. What would you want us to know about, I don't know, any security, any other security features that you want us to know about? If we're focusing on those slopes, what is the peculiar thing about the security cameras that you would need to, do you need to do anything different if it's sloping?
In terms of choosing the camera, yes. Again, there are cameras that are more suited for a longer range. There are cameras with different angles, there's some you can change the lenses, and then there's some that you can order. It's all built in one house in that will have different lenses, and say, you know, lenses go in terms of width.
What's this one we're seeing here?
That is what you would call a bullet camera. It seems to be wireless. And the image up front where you're seeing the little, looks like little lights on the front of it, right? Those are the infrared LEDs. Those are what allows they put off the infrared lighting so that the cameras can see at night.
Okay.
Right? But again, you don't just want to purchase any old camera system. That's why I said it's best to have a security professional visit either your home or your business to choose it for you, because at the end of the day, you don't just want a camera system to say, oh, I have cameras. Your camera system really comes into play when you have an incident and you need to look back at it, right? So you need real-time recording and not time-lapsed. And you also need to be able to recognize people. So you need proper resolution cameras. And again, there are certain areas that you will need a higher resolution camera than others. So all those different things come into play. So it's probably best to let somebody who's very good at doing it or has been doing it for a while come in and advise you.
You mentioned real-time recording as opposed to time-lapse, and I was thinking some people might get cameras and they use it only as monitors for when they're there. Is recording a very key and important aspect of it?
Definitely. You really need to record. We would advise anybody to go digital at this time. And this technology, it doesn't make sense doing the other bit with tapes and changing your tapes every day and that kind of stuff. That's in the past. What you need to do is have a DVR, and then, which is digital video recorder. And then you also need to make sure that you have adequate hard drive space.
What's adequate?
It depends on what you want. What most people would ask is, what's your response time? In other words, how long does it take you to know that something has happened? And then that will then determine how much hard drive space you need. I would not recommend going below 500 gigs.
Okay, so you don't need a terabyte or anything like that?
It depends on the size of the DVR as well, how many cameras you have. Okay. If you're going to have more cameras, then obviously they're going to use up more space, so you need more hard drive. But I would say anywhere between 3 weeks and a month of recording is adequate, so that you can look back. And again, you need to have it real time. You really don't want to have time lapse, because then you miss part of it. Yeah. Okay.
What's your biggest security challenge, though? Some of the biggest concerns for you right now?
Some big concerns for us right now is just to get people aware of, as you heard going up the whole morning, aware of your surroundings, aware of what's going on around you, aware of where you work, aware of how you enter your home, how you leave your home, the preparations you make, getting to and from work. Simple little things that people are not doing that need to take some time to do to help them to be safe and secure, whether at home, at work, on the way to home, on the way to work. Having people to understand that they control their vulnerability, or they're not so being vulnerable. Okay. And we want people to understand that. And that's our biggest challenge right now in terms of security.
Is all this technology, I mean, it's really good, but so are our courts also looking at this now? These things are now admissible and very helpful? You know, just asking to the best of your knowledge.
Yeah, well, if you have cameras, I think the police have been moving forward. Like years ago, they would come around and identify, put some markings on your equipment for you. That still goes on. Having a camera in your home, at your office, gives the police officer real time to catch the individual, to see the person. Because you and I will see Hal's dressed today, you will describe him differently. Well, the camera gives you the exact description type where of that individual, which means you give the police 100% more option to catch that criminal, to catch that person, that perpetrator, as opposed to your line of sight, my line of sight. The camera is exact, doesn't change or vary. The technology is there. If you have it, the police will use it to capture the criminals, and they have been doing that. They have been doing that now, and it's been working out. What we need to get you to do is to realize that any assistance that you can give the police officers to solve your crime, something that's happened to you, is really beneficial to you and to them. Okay. You have the cameras that you can look at.
Yeah, I've always been wanting to be able to see my viewers while I'm, sitting here talking to them. Well, this is your neighborhood. I'm watching you. Yeah. And this is one of, well, I'm just joking, but this is one of the ways too that when you install your cameras, you can also monitor what's happening at your home. You don't have to be there.
Correct.
You can monitor real time, right?
Yeah.
So we're monitoring, somebody's neighborhood right
And
now.
this is real. Look at the seconds counting down right there. It's
So
real time.
behave yourself now as you go to your car. I'm looking at you, but yeah, this is an important aspect of your system too. Should you try to have this?
Yes, and again, like I was telling you guys last week, with 4G coming, you will very soon, most DVRs now have the software for your smartphones. So very soon, you will be able to log in to your camera system while driving home. Again, not while driving. When you get close to your neighborhood or at the top of the neighborhood or wherever, you pull off the side of the road, you can actually look at your cameras via your phone, make sure that everything around the home is safe before you proceed. While you're at work, you go to work, you log in, you see what's going on before you while you're there. Every now and then you pull it up, you take a look at it, and it's very, very advantageous when you travel, being a homeowner as well as a business owner, because then you can keep tabs on your staff, see if they're monkeying around doing what they should or shouldn't do, and you can also keep tabs on your home while you're overseas.
Is there a system available that would send you an alert if there's been a breach in your security system that would alert you, so you don't really have to sit monitoring it for real time, but you get some kind of alert and then you can go check and see what's happening?
Yes, you can get the DVR to send you emails, but sometimes it gets annoying because a car drives by, will send you an email, stuff like that. So in a situation like that is when you would want to go towards an alarm system rather than a camera system.
Okay, so how do you link the two? The alarm and the camera, because some people might go for one or the other. You saying two might be the better bet?
Always,
Yeah.
always. The alarm system is more in terms of preventing or discouraging the intruder to a point where and your safety more so than anything else, if you're in your bed sleeping 2 o'clock in the morning and a guy tries to break in and the alarm system goes off, it's all bells and whistles. Your alarm company, once you're monitored, will know, so they'll be sending somebody out to help you. And if some person's on the outside and the siren goes off, they're on the outside, they know people are going to look out, they most likely will run away. They will not try to proceed in. So that keeps you and your family safe.